Hello, fabulous one. So, how can you practice self mastery in the comfort of your own home? I'm going to teach you something that is going to be absolutely funny when you hear it, but it's going to make so much sense. And then you're going to give it a try. And once you really see the results of it and you see that it actually brings you positive results, you're going to get excited. But very often we are taught that spiritual awakening and self mastery or becoming the awakened one has to be done when you are somewhere in the Himalaya, when you're away from home and you need to leave behind all your worldly possessions and also your husband and your children and go into an ashram or go into a monastery and just sit there for a year or two or three or five and learn to quiet your mind when you're there. Now, of course, if we can fantasize about it and if we can take a break for a year, leave everything behind and go sit somewhere in a hut, of course, we'll jump to the occasion, right? We'll go in a heartbeat. But realistically speaking, most of us mothers especially, we're not in that position and we don't even want to make that decision. So it's already a no-no. We might fantasize about it and the idea sounds fun, but when we look at our little ones, we're like, no, I could never. I just gotta suffer through it. I just gotta get through it, right? You always just find a way to just get through it, just to deal with it, even though it's draining you, even though it's really, sucking the life out of you. You still find a way to get through it. So let that be your first light bulb. How come I always find a way to just get through it? Once you're through it, the sleepless nights or, the attachment phase where they don't want to sleep in their own bed and they have to sleep in your bed and you're just not sleeping right? Because you constantly have to make space for the little ones to come and sleep with you. Or they just don't take their naps anymore in the afternoon, or they start walking and now you gotta watch them like a hawk because they're up to no good all the time. It's exhausting, and it goes through phases, and we'll get through it eventually. But when we are in it, it feels hard, it feels exhausting, and we just wish if there would be a better way to deal with it, then we would happily accept it or embrace it or just jump for joy. And there is a way. And I'm going to be honest with you. I am not suggesting anything easy. This is not an easy way. This is actually a very hard way. But if you master this one, you're going to accelerate. You're going to surpass those student monks who go to a monastery. You're going to surpass them like this, especially if you're a mother, and especially if you're a mother and a wife. Why? Because resistance is given to you by your husband and by your children. Not because they're knuckleheads. Not because they're knuckleheads. Not because they're deliberately trying to sabotage you. Not because they're deliberately trying to sabotage you. But it's just because it is what it is. So that's light bulb number 2. When your husband and your children give you resistance, just tell yourself, it is what it is. This is life. This is life versus entropy. This is when I am in alignment, the resistance is shown to me. Yin and yang. Tell yourself, every time you encounter a situation where you tense up, where you contract, where your natural reaction is actually to get angry or to react, scream and shout, the first thing you need to tell yourself, because you need to come back to your awareness, because if that's the way you've always responded, that's your unconscious response. So first you need to tap into your awareness by saying to yourself, hold up, wait a minute, we've been here before, this is a deja vu. Don't you remember? Every time they behave this way, you react this way. Start catching yourself in the act. Start catching yourself in the act. Start catching yourself being on repeat. Because that's when you become aware. That's when you can say to yourself, hey, wait a minute. That's when your conscious mind wakes back up and say, hey, I just fell asleep for a few seconds. And my natural reaction was to scream and shout. Maybe you scream and shout at your husband sometimes as well. Your natural reaction is to scream and shout. I know I have done that in the past many times before my awakening. Now that I'm in the awakened state, I scream and shout consciously. I go all in, put my whole heart in it. No more shame, no more guilt, no more feeling, uncomfortable about it. I'm just myself. But I am not upset. That's the thing. That's the big difference between someone who's in the awakened state and someone who is still unconscious. The difference is when I scream and shout, I do it on purpose because I want to prove a point to whoever is in front of me, to my daughter, to my husband. Let's stick to the subjects. Husband or child? Children. And so now when I say something to my daughter in a harsh voice, it's just because I am who I am, but it's not because I'm upset. I just tell her, hey, pick up your stuff when you come home from school. Don't just drop your stuff everywhere in the kitchen and then just, get a chocolate and then run upstairs to play on your computer. No. Come back down. Go get all your stuff and bring it to your room. What am I? The maid? Right? So there are moments in time where you're going to be forceful, where you're going to be cutthroat. But when you are in the awakened state, you're going to do it with a big smile on your face because your body is no longer going to go into this stress response. So if you notice you're going into this stress response every time you react in a negative or harsh way towards other people, that's where you have to tell your conscious mind, hey, wake up. You've been here before. You've done this before. You're on repeat. And that's the moment where you create the separation between what is happening and your thoughts. Because before that time, whatever happens and your thoughts are one and the same. So you become one with the situation and therefore react negatively because now you need the situation to change. Now you need your husband to change. Now you need your children to change in order to have better thoughts. But when you create the separation, when you say to yourself, wait a minute, I've been here before. No, I recognize it. It's a deja vu. It's the glitch in the matrix. It's like, whoa. That's when you create the distance and you tap into your soul and you become the observer of mind and body. And that's when you start to see and realize, wait a minute, I can choose my reaction. I can choose not to react. And so that's the biggest lesson I want to teach only in this video. We can take it to much deeper levels in my self-mastery school. I invite you to come over. The link is down below. But when you first create that separation between soul, mind, and body, and you tap into your soul, you can see for the first time that your mind and body were about to react, about to bite his butt, right? You're about to set them straight. But in that moment, you told yourself, hey, wake up. You've been here before. You got angry like this before. And your body got really upset. Now you have high blood pressure, high cortisol. Yeah, now you need to stress eat to calm yourself down again, right? We've been here before. Catch yourself in the repeat. Once you catch yourself in the repeat, you tap back into your soul and you start to see mind and body as separate. That's when you take your power back. And so all I need you to do is just not react. Just watch what happens. Just watch whatever unfolds in front of your eyes. Just watch, observe, and listen. And just don't react. And walk away. Of course, your husband's going to look at you like, Usually, this is how I get her all fired up. No. So they're going to try and poke at you a little bit more, right? And that's the test. That's the test. Don't react. Don't react. Calm yourself back down. Try to tell yourself, this is how I've always reacted. I'm always reacting this way. I'm always doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we're not insane, right, sister? We're not insane. No, we're not. So that's how you create the distance between your thought and others. Otherwise, you're going to constantly need them to change their behavior or behave better or be nicer or say it in a sweeter way with a sweeter voice for you to feel good. So that's the first way you're going to step into your power again. Now, if this was helpful, please let me know. I would love to know what you think, and please try it out because you're going to be so energized. Why? Because when you stop reacting to others, when you stop reacting, especially in a negative way, to others, that's energy that stays with you. You are no longer giving your energy away, because in a way you are giving your energy away, even if it's negative. And so that's why you feel so exhausted and tired, and you have no more energy because you're tired of screaming all day. I know, with kids it seems hardly impossible, but that's why, Mom, you're going to progress so much faster than a student monk, because the natural resistance you have in your house, once you are willing to work with it, is going to accelerate you to higher levels of consciousness really fast. Thank you for listening. If you would like to get familiar with the complete teaching of the Fabulous One philosophy, I highly recommend you buy my book. And if you are excited to become a self-master, I invite you to join my online self-mastery school for moms, where I help you transform your inner saboteur into your inner strength so you can make each day your masterpiece. Student level membership is free. Looking forward to seeing you inside.